Some people, I think Jenkins is somebody who said they were totally not convinced at all that it was possible. Some other people have said that that there's maybe something to it. I think Bulldog, for example, was one who wanted to try it out, but someone's actually going to put it to the test potentially here at iceiceice. Though who knows? It might just be that he's somewhere else.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is I feel like whenever there's a new trendy hip kind of a thing, just like back at the Summit 2 when Broodmother came back into Captain's Mode, iceiceice was one of the first people to kind of jump at the chance to use it. Or if it's like a Phoenix or something, he seems to be one of those kind of players that's almost eager to kind of try it out. Now, I don't know if that means that he's the only one that maybe feels comfortable, maybe he's had more time using it in pubs or scrims, and he might end up just taking it to the, common respected safe lane. But I'm with you, man. I wouldn't mind seeing the potential of the off-lane Phantom Lancer. But regardless, it was a beautiful response to something like Omni Knight. If you needed a diffusal carrier, he's like the best one you can ask for right now. Once this guy gets a diffusal, it just gets ridiculous. And I don't really know what this Omni Knight's going to do. He's going to have to be in good position. And the scary thing for Omni Knight is there's not a huge casting range for his skills. He has to be pretty close to make sure he gets his, group together for a good Guardian Angel or even a Repel or Heal. And he better hope that he doesn't get swarmed by all these illusions, because he's going to be out of the mana really fast if that's the case.
Yeah, I am really excited to see the Omni Knight pick. I think the one big reason that they can kind of go for it here, so the one big reason that we don't see a whole lot of Omni Knight is he's of course difficult to lane. He's a melee support, and that means that it's difficult to zone off laners. If you get some, if there's a last pick off lane that you can't deal with, then you can completely just lose the game out the fact that you have Omni Knight down on your safe lane. The one big reason that they get away with it this game is that they managed to get Troll, and I would say at the moment Troll is pretty much your best carry when it comes to dealing with offlaners and keeping them zoned out. Once he gets his phase boots up, it's very, very easy for him to just keep pressuring, and that kind of lets them get away with the Omni Knight pick here to some extent.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's very happy that he has almost like a free BKB potentially early on with this Omni Knight in the game, but they have two pretty somewhat defensive supports. I'm curious to see if they're going to go with any movement. Now, the Vengeful Spirit super on the side of DK does go with early boots though, so he might look to kind of get a little bit aggressive early on as soon as I finish saying that. So we'll have to see. It looks like top rune being scouted here potentially from both sides. Look at how he kind of peeks up above the stairs there to see if anyone's waiting, and indeed they do see Bristle. Oh, they block the one side and they try to do a wraparound, but they're already out the other, and I don't think they're going to be able to move them forward, or at least try to keep them back and away. But now they're going to engage. Super gets caught with a magic missile. They might be able to right click him down. Getting the body blocks from how to keep him back though, but oh, one more! Oh, I want it so bad, I can't get it. Oh, very unfortunate, but Super does live. He'll have to already chew through some serious early tangos though. He actually gets the salve. That might have been handoff from Hal, so he's very happy about that, and hey, he's just in time to kind of do his best to get a back end of a block here, and actually ends up slightly in his favor because of it.
That would have been the perfect revenge for Vengeful Spirit there, because the previous game it was Super on the Storm Spirit giving Super on the Chen a very, very hard time. And the support player almost got his own back there, but not quite. So a little bit unfortunate. We will once again have this Shadow Fiend versus Storm Spirit matchup on mid. This time around, no pesky Chen creeps to intervene, and no precision aura either. So it should be, it's that slightly Storm favored matchup that we are used to at this stage.
I gotta say, iceiceice, he's gotta be pretty happy, because the zoner he has to deal with is this Vengeful Spirit, who has a stun, but it's not the fastest projectile. At least he should be able to work his magic with a doppelganger to kind of avoid it, as long as he's decently quick on the trigger. Me, I'd flub it up because I'm old and slow and I have no hand-eye coordination, but a young, jubilant iceiceice, he should be able to kind of have that Q button ready to go, so in case pressure comes in, he'll be able to quick sidestep it.
Yeah, and it's slow enough as well that I don't think iceiceice is going to get scared by a pump fake either. If the Venge starts running up and just trying to fake out the magic missile, he's not actually going to cast Doppelwalk until he actually sees the projectile in the air, and that means that he should be able to, at least in theory, dodge it pretty reliably. Same story as the Ravage in the previous game. You don't really need to, it's very difficult to force somebody to pop their BKB defensively if they see you they know that the Ravage actually has to launch before we need to do anything.
Now it looks like DK, they have the wards at the top part of the river. They see FY rotating by. They see him go up towards the ancient camp, so they know something's up. They probably have the idea that he could have blocked the camp, which he did do, and that's kind of common knowledge. You're going against a bristleback. It just seems like a common practice that you're going to be stacking those ancients so this bristleback can farm them out later. So VG Gaming kind of want to nip that early on and make sure that they don't get anything too easy. And now we're seeing up above. Black was trying to go for a heal bomb from the low ground to kind of steal a creep. But Bristle, he comes from the other side, does eat a little bit of harassment from the stun. But he's already what looks like level 2. He's sharing the lane with this Omni Knight here, so he's not getting a lot of solo experience. But with Black around, he should be A-okay.
Yeah, some pretty interesting allocations on these lanes. DK running the dual off lane. FY spending a lot of time mid keeping the pressure down on the Storm, and actually going to back up into Fog and try and look for a Fisher block here.
Got it. But there's still a crack to walk out from. It looked like almost if he just kind of let the first one go, it would have been good enough, but just a little bit too much hesitation, and it's only going to hit him with a little bit of damage. Not enough to lock him in place, and you can feel that they really want to try to bring down this Storm Spirit before he does get that level 6. Then blocking with Fisher is just a non-factor, so they try to make the best of it. The early rotation not going to happen so far. Yet to see our first blood happen. A lot of close calls, but nothing really coming out of it for iceiceice in his offlane. He goes Tranquils. That's a bit different for a PL. The PLs we've been seeing from like a Fear or a Banana Slam Jamma, it's like a power tread, you get your Aquila, and they go like right for the diffuser. Maybe a Midas if you're feeling pretty special and frisky and greedy, but iceiceice with the Tranquil grab. And he even has additional armor on top of that with the Ring of Protection. I imagine that, though, will be the Aquila. He does get stunned here, doesn't doppelganger it, and just does a little bit of harassment with the Spirit Lance, and he'll walk away.
Yeah, he would have needed the Tranquils much earlier if he hadn't actually found a regen rune bot, but actually manages to grab that one and gives him some extra Spirit Lance spam, which doesn't seem like the biggest deal, but the Troll Warlord and the Venge are actually both out of regen. They didn't bring very much to the lane. I think underestimating the Phantom Lancer a little bit, and this is where iceiceice can start to take over. He goes in there and finds the Venge, but I think he does it just because he knows the Venge is out of regen, and if he forces some damage, then she has to go all the way back to base, which is what we're seeing now, and that gives him a ton of space to grab some CS in the meantime. And everyone in this game is actually getting really good farm just because of how the lanes panned out and having relatively weak zoning supports in general.
Well, it doesn't look like DK knew that he might have blocked that camp, because In July is going to try to stack it right now. That sentry still has a nice minute left on it, so this stack not going to be happening. He's going to be in for a rude awakening, or at least when he returns that, hey, what happened? I should have more here, and, well, I'll just have to put up with it. So the fallback of farm is going to be nerfed down a little bit, and that's, props, of course, to the support staff of VG Gaming to kind of address it. So with that, though, we could see a bit of a turnaround here. The level 6s for these mid laners are coming online. Super is actually just above 6, and your Storm Spirit hits it right now. And Black's here. They want to put to use set 6 right away. Moves on forward. FY reserving the Fisher for now. Maybe fearing about the Omni Knight. First blood happens elsewhere, but we'll keep eyes on here. It's going to be Super going down. Your Storm Spirit grabs it. FY unfortunately couldn't save him, and well, with that, they make strong use of that early level 6, but on the other side, it was actually iceiceice that was your first blood.
Yes, somehow ends up being brought down on bottom. I was paying attention to mid as well. That was really nicely timed out of DK. The instant that Storm gets 6, the repel gets dropped on him, and he goes a fraction of a second later. If there had been any hesitation, then I think the repel would have worn off, and FY would have been ready with the stun, but just long enough that he does manage to grab that kill. So nice start for DK, but similar kind of story last game, and we saw how that ended up working out. So we'll see if they can hold on to the lead a little bit better this time around.
In July, adding pressure onto How here, did not get any sort of early value point into Goo, and he might have gone too far. They turn right back, they pop out the Doom here, and they do manage to also drop down the Scream. Was it the Scream? What's it called? Yeah, it's the Thunderclap. That's what it was. It wasn't quite the simple stuff. Thunderclap is certainly helped bring him down, and they get the Bristleback dropped. Almost a bit of a bait right there from How as they just quickly turn around on him. And, well, it looks like at the same moment, like before, it's Shadow Fiend who goes down, though, in the mid lane. 3-1 advantage for DK.
Yeah, I can only assume just another repelled Storm Spirit coming at him, and not a whole lot that poor FY could do. This is such a staple of the, I'd say in particular the Chinese scene, to have your Earthshaker be ready to sit and defend mid, but the Omni Knight is doing his job and just letting Storm Spirit keep the pressure up.
Has little mana now, so I imagine your Omni Knight, if he's going to play it this way, oh, hold on though, they make the repel dive again. This time Super doesn't want to risk getting into any sort of fisticuffs, so will allow him to move on forward and then just kind of steps away from it. But if your Omni Knight's going down this road of very supportive build-up, which it looks like he is, I mean, not doing any sort of early value point into the degen aura. He's just here looking to level up this repel. In fact, he puts 3 points into it, even above the purification, just already banking on the chance that they're going to be able to make strong use out of it. And he does indeed get the Soul Ring. A big grab for him. Hell, I think he could even get Tranquils as well, just to balance it out with a good bit of regen and some extra move speed, which he could certainly use.
Omni Knight's even a hero where I think you consider going both Arcanes and Soul Ring, just because you do need the extra mana pool, and you can pull some cutesy stuff with dropping your Arcanes, using the Soul Ring, picking up the Arcanes again to get a little bit of extra mana and keep stretching it out. So we might also see him going for that. It does kind of depend on the farm. This is also a really good game to potentially pick up a Force Staff, get people back over the top of Fissures, get people away while they're hexed or Earth Spiked by the Lion. So I think you could also just go for a Tranquils into a Force Staff kind of build-up. So, if he can get that kind of farm. Yeah,
if he can get that kind of farm. If he can, then you're in a sweet spot, and that's just a luxury right there for him. Checking out bottom. Slow flies out on iceiceice. Here comes the other Super, moving on in, and does the quick doppelganger, and will be able to get closer to the tower. He was very low on life, so made the right call right there. But your Troll continues to find some sweet farm down here. He's 47 and 10 for CS. And he's above, obviously, your PL is at 29 and 4, but Troll is second in net worth, the highest right now for DK, only kind of being trounced slightly from your Doom. How? Top lane. He's got his Midas, he's got 1,300 gold. We'll have to see if he decides to put more priority in getting maybe an early Blink Dagger, or if he wants to go right for the Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, either way, this is definitely a Blink Ags refresher game. One way or the other, maybe a BKB or something along the way, though it only really helps you, helps you quite a bit against the Storm, but otherwise not all that much. Fenrir's grabbed his level 6, so they're trying to get a Finger of Death gank down towards this bottom lane, taking advantage of the fact that this ward is here actually, because they saw it planted earlier with iceiceice's obs. So a little bit of false sense of security for Troll Warlord, as he might get jumped in a second.
There's smoke on both sides, so they're also trying to go on Hal, but Hal might be able to walk away. But on the other side, they are successful. They get the catch. We see the back end of it there, the fissure connection. They get the finger off. Your Troll will be taken down. So a successful smoke gate on the bottom for Beachy Gaming. The same smoke gate for DK on the top. Not happening. Hal sees something coming his way. He just simply steps on out, and there's not a whole lot that DK can do to follow through with it. Maybe a bit of a panic moment right there from DK. Troll could be calling out that he's getting ganked, and they're kind of second-guessing what they can do on the top lane, but good moves for Beachy Gaming. That Troll was building up a sweet spot there in the bottom lane, and they needed to make sure they can keep him in check. So now they can have pressure. It looks like the tier 1 should be able to go down as iceiceice will kind of cut the creeps here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
DK still finding some kind of a response looking for this tier 1 mid, but the Glyph is still up for the Dire. Though it looks like they're not sending anyone back just yet to try and defend.
Yeah, it will take them a bit longer. Beachy Gaming, though, they smoke. They're going to let them feel comfortable about taking this tower so that they can come in from behind and really catch them off guard. And your repel was just used. He'll be up right now as he's investing the extra point into it. Jumps forward and tries to jump out, but the Doom does connect. Do they have enough to catch up? Well, the Phantom Rush forward comes out from iceiceice. The Guardian Angel will have to be used to save him, but the Shockwave gets it done from the creep. And now Black will be dead thereafter. Beachy Gaming taking down Black. I can't help but chuckle about that one. As they'll look to turn and now maybe return their own bit of pressure on this tier 1 mid. Good smoke movement. They were kind of hoping for a bit more there, but they walk away with their Omni Knight takedown.
Yeah, Beachy just being a tiny bit ahead in going for that trade gives them the opportunity to come and grab those additional kills, and well, Looks like just gonna have to back off for now. No real opportunity to force in any further. Other big thing was seeing that the Troll Warlord was sort of about half HP up on top lane and not really ready to TP in and respond. So long as if they're ganking the Storm, he's the one that's really scary, you know, for TPing in and counter-initiating, but even the other counter-initiators from DK were there already waiting on middle lane, so Vici didn't have to be scared of the additional heroes potentially porting their way in, really.
Looks like for Hao on his Doom, his first hero choice is going to be the Agnems. He's already got the point booster at 1,400 gold. He is still holding the top of the net worth right now, 6,800. His brother and teammate, I guess you could say, his brother, but his colleague, I guess, it's your Shadow Fiend, Super, 5,800. He's got his Mechanism and Alcatine on hand with Power Tread, so the mech build up for him, and he might have to use it. Oh, nope, jump forward, and Storm will sidestep the Earth Spike there. He's just trying to dance with him a bit as he has a Haste Rune that's already been popped, and for your Storm Spirit, he's going right for the Bloodstone. Some Storm Spirits, they like to, you know, first get a hold of a reliable Soul Ring and then go straight forward for the Orchid. But I guess for some of them, if they want to, you know, get more farm, I think it was you who was preaching about it last time we were casting together, you know. Yeah. You got to get the Bloodstone if you really want to accelerate that farm.
I mean, if you're going to be buying Orchid, Bloodstone, and BKB, by far the fastest order to buy them is to go Bloodstone into Orchid. In July.
That was just like, hi, welcome to mid lane. We're Vici Gaming. They move forward and they just get welcomed with a fissure and just a couple of raises, and your Bristleback is dead.
You were considering crossing the river? Like, no. But back to your side.
Back away. You shall not pass. Vici Gaming holds strong there, and they have to walk their way up to the top. They even force out the glyph. And it looks like DK are just knocking the risk, wondering who's out there in the shadows of the dark. If you look at their vision, you can't see a couple rotate out here, but they don't know who else could be there. There is a nearby Super, so they're going to play it extra safe. Bottom lane, though. Uh-oh. TY, he's in trouble. Ice on the hunt here. And this is before he even gets his Diffusal Blade. I'm really curious to see. I mean, he has a Blade of Alacrity. I'm just assuming he has to get the Diffusal and an Omnet in the game, but that's when things really get intense. But, oh, what's going on over here? Here, the Ancients. There's a brawl breaking out. It's Super walking away with a quick double kill. Looks like they just kind of ascend up to the Ancient stack where they anticipate Bristle maybe looking to go with the bit of farm, and they get a sweet grab, taking down the Troll and the Vengeful Spirit.
Is under attack.
Yeah, it looks like Fenrir got a sweet Earth Spike off in the sort of the narrow confines around there, so very straightforward kills there for Vici. Hao already getting I was about to say pretty close to his Aghanim Scepter. It's done. It's on the courier. It's on its way out, so.
Oof. His farm is just becoming pretty gross here, so your Omni Knight might be quivering a bit. Make sure he's at the right place at the right time, and he opted to go for the Tranquils, so he can kind of put the mileage in across the map. As long as he doesn't attack a creep or anything, he'll be able to keep that move speed regardless of popping off hills. But there's going to be your first big Agnem's Doom, and it connects onto In July. Wow! Just a cherry on top from FY. No respect for that Echo Slam just to finish him off.
You wanted the kill secure for some Blink Dagger gold, but
yeah.
Fortunately, didn't get it. A little bit of a waste, but he's probably not gonna find too many opportunities to use it anyway. It's just a level 7 Earthshaker.
Makes for a little bit of hype, which we could certainly use, so I'm down with the Dunkage. That's the thing is, I think Earthshaker is one of the most satisfying heroes to play. Like when you do land, even when you don't land a good dunk and it's on one person, it feels like it resonates through your whole body. Like, bah! And then you quickly realize you actually hit no one and disappointment to your team.
It happens. It happens to everyone. But yeah, the satisfaction is worth all the fails along the way.
I'm sure FY has plenty of satisfying dunks under his belt, so we'll see if he'll get to unleash a little bit of that here for us. As he's got about 1k gold, so he's on route towards his Blink Dagger. But the big item pickup right now is Ice. He's got his Diffusal Blade. This is when things get real fun if you're a PL. I mean, right now, you know, this hero, he's more of a fighter. This is when a lot of people feel that this is the weapon he needs to start the fight. You get so many illusions so quick. Yeah, they don't last as long as they did previously, but they just come out in full force, and then your mana just goes out. So I'll see what he makes of use of it. Plus, you know, it removes Repel, so I guess that's a perk too.
I think one of the coolest things about Vici Gaming's lineup here is that almost all of their cores can protect their supports from the Storm Spirit. If you look at it, if the Earthshaker or the Lion is teamed up with any of the 3 cores and the Storm Spirit jumps in, Doom can drop Doom, iceiceice can purge off the Repel, potentially, or just force him back, and Super can pop mech. So long as the supports just stick with one of their cores, use a buddy system, they're safe from the storm, and that means that he can't build up bloodstone charges and can't snowball nearly as hard as some of the games that we've been seeing recently. So Vici really responding well to the early Storm Spirit pickup from DK.
Yeah, I mean, what it looks like so far with this series is they are not about holding back. They want to put it out there that yesterday's matches were a fluke, and they are definitely worth the strong Vici Gaming name still, and want to make a strong showing at this point from here on out and make it to stage number 2. As they kind of go down their docket, they easily get growth that's uncontested, while DK are just still trying to get that tier 1 in the top lane. They do get it, so jungle will be open a little bit here. I'm checking out the supports to see if maybe they got some wards on hand. They don't, so they already have a pretty aggressive ward, actually, as I check things out. Over by this big camp. The question is, will they be able to make use of it? I mean, this is when your Storm Spirit, like we saw in the previous game in the hands of Vici Gaming Super, when you start going and finding those supports and picking them off, so they go on the hunt right now, but they're not going to find anyone. Vici Gaming are on bottom, and they're killing in July. Look at the mana go bye-bye. Even what is that? Does he have he pops out the mech, which reduces him to nothing. Mech costs 250. If you're Bristleback, that's a good chunk of his mana.
If you don't have any mana, then the Diffusal Blade can't do any damage to you, but it also means that Bristleback can't do any damage himself. So that's a little bit of a shame, and Vici just not done. It's apparently high ground time.
They start moving on in here. They give in July the repel, and they're like, get out there. Quill, do something. Stop them from pushing. They're getting into our home. We gotta keep them out. Next on in July, he's gonna be forced to walk through the middle, but the Doom will hit him. He's gonna walk back into the healing bath and hope he can withstand the extra bit of deeps. But the tier 3 goes down. Hal's like, let's go. Well, we're leaving? Okay, we'll leave. And it looks like Vici Gaming are going to play it a bit disciplined here. They don't want to overstay their welcome. So they walk away with that for now. They still have the Aegis. They're still comfortable and good. They'll just kind of itemize to that next step and then maybe look to make another go.
Yeah, they can still definitely get another push done with the Doom, with the Aegis, so I don't think there's any reason to rush. The tier 3 is already still a really nice prize to grab. And the other thing as well, talked about this in some of the previous casts, you do need to be really careful when you're pushing into, especially a hero like Storm Spirit, who can be so punishing either with a short Bloodstone respawn or just with a buyback. So Vici gonna pay at least a little bit of respect for that here.
Early lance onto TY here, but just a little bit of foot support coming out from iceiceice. Just keeping the pressure here on the bottom, where they would love to kind of take advantage of these exposed racks that are now free and open and oh so tasty. But for DK, this is the time to try to make a big turnaround, and might have to come on the back of their troll with a beautifully timed and placed counterplay with a Guardian Angel. I mean, if they can make Vici Gaming perhaps feel a bit too comfortable and maybe get too overzealous, they could pop down a nicely timed Guardian Angel and just take it right back to him. But it's a big if. So we'll see if they have it in them to get it done. But they're going to need to do something as far as defense goes here in the bottom, because the enemies are coming out. Oh no, Super's coming down. It will be dropping the next Doom. Hey, in July, he does not like that whatsoever. He's eating like 2 or 3 Dooms this game, and they've ended in some quick deaths. iceiceice though tries to man up on the troll, and I don't think he always want to do that. But for now, it does keep him backing away. They quickly clear up the wave, and now they go to work onto the racks here. First things first, you got to get the melee down, and it looks like Vici Gaming are going to do successful base damage here. The first real base damage of the game. They got to do something about it. They jump in with a control on the Hal. Jump in, done. It's on the repel. F1, please. That's not what we want on the ducks. But wait for now. There's the finger to fly and the Earth Spike, but the Guardian Angel comes out, doesn't stop the raise. See you later, troll. And now Vici Gaming looking to clean house and end the series. Very quickly, Super annihilated with the Requiem from Super. And now in July, please just get me into the fountain. No, he goes down, and they are done. Black says GG. We're all done here.
All right. There you go.
Right. There it is. That was
What do
probably
you
the
know?
fastest series of Starlighter China so far. That was
I
crazy.
think I just the draft from Vici was really solid. DK